Alright, so here we go. So when you turn your car to on, this is what you should see. The AC turns on immediately and then retains your settings. So here's the everything removed just so you get a better view. Now when you change your filter, you see how this is not moving? It's attached to this arm back here in this motor. So you have to hit recirculate right here, and then the door opens, then you can change your filter. See, recirculate off or on or whatever. And then so a lot of times people will pry this open and break this arm and then damage the motor possibly. But in order to get this, change the arm or fix it, you have to remove the entire dashboard. People have found ways to do it without doing that, with like a 90-degree screwdriver and stuff like that. But so that's problem one. If you don't have this problem, then the problem you have is one of these motors. So here's the passenger side. Air mix on the bottom, air outlet right on top of it. Now, as I was saying before, sometimes even if you load it in TechStream and look for error codes, sometimes you won't even have an error code for the motor, but it's still causing a problem. It's either a bad motor, it wasn't put in correctly. So let me go here. So active test, like I said before, and then we're gonna go down to the passenger side. So we'll start with the air mix F and RP, that is passenger. And so there's a range of 0 to 255. Now, right now it's 0, so it's all the way either up or down. I don't remember what it is. If you move to 255, you're gonna see it's gonna spin all the way like that. And then 0 goes all the way back to the other side. So if you buy a used motor and just stick it in, you might have problems, because you need to set the motor to either 0 or 255 before you put it in, because if it's at the end of the range or in the middle, the car doesn't know, it doesn't know that. So even if you stick in a used one and try to initialize it or set it, it's only got a certain range of motion, and if you put the motor in and it's not to one or the other extreme, it's never going to be able to achieve what it needs to do, both, from one end to the other. So if you buy a brand new servo from Lexus, obviously you're fine, because those are probably set, by default all the way over. You can apply positive negative voltage, I believe, to these things, and then do the same thing I'm doing now, just manually. So now we're going to go to the passenger side air outlet servo pulse, which is this one. Again, it's at 0 right now, so you hit it to 255, or maybe it's at 255. Yeah, so you hit 0, and then it goes all the way back down, full range of motion, 0, 255. If all 4 of your motors do not do this, that is the reason your AC is not saving its settings. So we have verified they all work, and you can even initialize them now that we have them all set. You don't have to, because they're already good to go, but if you were doing this on your own, you'd hit utility and then initialize. I guess we can do it now just to show you, but there's really no point in doing it because they're already set. So you have to turn the AC off like so, and then we're gonna do next and next, and you'll see I think there's 8 or 10 motors, not just these 4, but that one will go, this one will go, and you'll have all the other ones spinning. That one's gonna start. I don't know why it stops midway like that in initialization. Sometimes, I don't know, it's just weird. And then you're going to want to watch for the auto light to turn off. Once it does, then initialization's over. Takes, I don't know, a minute or so, 30 seconds. Alright, so now everything's going back. And the light turned off. So that's it. Initialization's over. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We're gonna just set this like that, turn everything off. Hopefully it works again. You can do it quickly. I mean, you don't have to wait a while to make sure it comes back on. Here's the AC computer. I mean, this thing I've never heard of this thing going bad, but each model has its own part number. Like if you have long wheelbase, short wheelbase, if you have the executive package, it's different. Cold weather package is different. There's a ton of different part numbers for that one. So, cross my fingers here. Sometimes initialization messes things up, but no, that's good. So you see how it popped up right away? That means you're golden. That's it, it's working. So hopefully this answers some questions. You know, a lot of these settings or, you know, data list, like it shows you various different things here about the HVAC system, the front and the rear, the positions of all the servos to get desired temperature and airflow. That's that. So, ooh, one more thing I wanted to kind of explain here. There's some questions on this as well. So, the rear heat, if you have to make sure this is on auto. So you see you put auto and then this little thing comes on. So now all you do is adjust your temperature. That's all you got to do. And the system will do the rest. As you can see, if you want heat, it's going to come through the floor in front of you, and I have no light here. Hang on. So it's always going to default because the heat comes from the front and the AC comes from the rear. So let's say you put this all the way down to low. Now it's going to kick out. It's going to kick out cool air either from here, or definitely from up here. So this, the top vent is AC only. That's the air purifier. The duct goes, you know, from the back to right here. You're never going to get heat out of this vent. Heat only comes from the front of the car, which is through here, or the floor vent. And I think this is connected to the top. I haven't figured that out yet. So you're only going to get cool air out of here as well, I believe. So auto, it's going to do that. If you turn auto off, so let's say you want, you know, a different location. So that's going to turn auto off, and it's going to allow you to select your own vent location, but the same rules still apply. Like if you want, you're never going to get heat out of the top, because like I said, the top vent is from the rear trunk AC unit. So even though you put high, you know, you're not going to get hot air out of it.